Yo, what's good everybody? I hope we're all doing well. I've got a bit of a Rossi showcase for you guys that I think you're gonna like. And then after the showcase, I'm gonna talk about the team I built, what I like about it, the builds for all the characters, and kind of why I built it that way. In case anyone wants to try this team out, because I think it plays quite smooth. And then after I talk about the team, I'm actually gonna break down the showcase and explain what I'm doing gameplay wise, and a little bit of tips and tricks for how to play Rossi and just some things that I don't really hear people talking about. And then yeah, that's pretty much gonna wrap it up. So let's get into things.
If you really want it all, meet me on the weekend. Put your money where your mouth is, put your money crowd is. Baby, put your hands up, we in the sun of London. It's in the papers, we all lost our coming. It's a no-brainer, we already running. Make a lot of noise, make a lot of noise. The girls make the boys go crazy, and the girls make the boys go crazy.
Alright, so here's the team I've been rocking and is featured in the video. We got Rossi, Akekuri, Chen, and Gilberta. This is a really fun team. It's a hybrid team of both physical and arts damage, which is awesome. And I think what they were kind of going for with Rossi, she's very flexible. Yeah, you don't really got to worry about SP management at all with this team. It has good damage output, it flows well, the rotations work well, and it features some characters that I really like. Now obviously not everybody is going to want to run exactly this team, but the way I'm going to explain this team and how to play it in general is going to kind of help you understand how to play Rossi and similar teams. So depending on which characters you have built or which characters you like, it's obviously all personal preference, but this is what I'm running with. And let's get into the builds. So first things first, there's two really important things you want to know about Rossi and how to play her before we go over the build. The first thing is that her combo trigger actually has two instances, unlike all the other characters who only have one. In order for the second part of it to pop, you need to have one stack of vulnerability and one stack of arts infliction. So for this team, I just used Chen battle skill to apply the vulnerability, and I use Akekuri battle skill to apply arts infliction. She's got heat infliction on that. Now you could use Rossi's battle skill to apply vulnerability, but I prefer having a separate character to do this, and so I picked Chen. So once you apply those two stacks and you hit the enemy with your final strike, like your last basic attack, it will proc both instances of the combo sequence. You're then going to get the crit rate and crit damage buffs, and you're going to apply another stack of vulnerability. So once you're at this point is when you would likely want to use her battle skill, because the enemy is going to be already vulnerable. You're going to have the crit stacks on them, and then you pop her battle skill, which will proc the Woven Amberage, which basically is going to improve physical damage and heat damage, to put simply. So you want to proc this second part of her combo trigger, and then next up you want to get her Woven Amberage going, so you just use her battle skill. Those are like the main things you want to keep in mind. You want to make sure you're doing that before popping her ultimate. Her ult does a lot of damage, but you need to apply those buffs first in order to get the most of it. Okay, moving on to her build. For abilities, the most important thing is her ultimate. Next, I would say combo skill, followed by her battle skill, although both of those are pretty important. And then only level up the basic attack if you're going to be using her as the main DPS. If she's going to be an off-field unit, then don't worry about it. For her weapon, we've got her signature, the Lupine Scarlet. If you can't get this, I recommend the Battle Pass weapon, the Glorious Memory. It's pretty much just as good, just a little bit worse, but does the same thing. For her gear, we've got 4-piece MI security. I'm rocking the security armor T1, the security gloves T1, and then 2 of the T1 scopes. This is going to provide a good amount of crit rate, some ult damage, and some ult gain efficiency. And then the 3-piece effect, again, more crit rate and attack percent. Now, the optional piece, you could rock Redeemer gloves instead of the security gloves. They both provide ult damage and agility. The only difference is the security gloves has agility and intellect, and then the Redeemer gloves has a higher agility stat. I'm honestly not too sure at this point which one's better, but I'm sure they both work pretty good. If anyone knows if the Redeemer gloves end up being higher overall attack, maybe drop a comment and let me know. I'd appreciate it. And then for her potentials, I just have the one of her. I don't have any of her potentials. Next on the team, I've selected Akekuri. Not only is the heat infliction nice for triggering the second part of Rossi's combo skill, but she has a shit ton of SP regen, and this team needs it. This team requires, it's a very skill heavy team in order to set everything up. So having that extra SP is very nice. She gets SP regen from both her combo skill and her ultimate. Also, whenever we regen SP with her, she's going to get buffs from Thermite Cutter, some attack percent, and also we've got her on 3-piece Frontiers, which again, when recovering SP, gives us even more damage percent buffs, which is nice. For the gear, we've got the Frontier Protection Suit, and then we've got 2 of the Frontier O2 tubes. The reason being is that it provides a lot of secondary attribute, and her secondary attribute, I believe it's intellect. And the more intellect she has, the more SP is actually regened. So that's super good. And then back to the gear. For the spare piece, we're rocking the Zyronite gloves T1, and that's just for the ult gain efficiency, and then again, more intellect for the SP regen. For her abilities, you really only need to level up the combo skill and the ultimate. And again, it's just to maximize the amount of SP we're getting back. And then I do have her max potential, and most people probably have this just from playing the game naturally. This doesn't really matter, but it is good quality of life buffs, I suppose. Chen is here to apply vulnerability stacks, and then also as our sub DPS. You could rock someone like Endman, Depan, or Li Feng, but I've picked her mostly because I like her, and also because I've got her max build. So, I mean, this slot really could be swapped out for someone else, but this is just who I've picked. We've got her on Aspirant, also maxed out. This is nice because it provides a lot of ultimate damage, and since she's an off-field unit for this team, that's where the majority of her damage is coming from. And for her gear, we got 3-piece Swordmancer. This is going to apply a lot of extra stagger, which is super nice. We're also getting some ult damage bonus and some physical damage bonus from these pieces. Specifically, we have the tack gauntlets and 2 of the Swordmancer flints. And then for our extra piece, I'm rocking the Redeemer plates, and that's because they just have a shit ton of extra agility, which is going to boost our overall attack. The basic attack damage doesn't really matter here, but just this agility alone is worth using it. And then we do happen to have her potential 5, but again, this is not necessary. To round out the team, we've got Gilberta. She's mostly here to apply team-wide buffs, and also for her ultimate. It scales based on vulnerability stacks, which this team applies a lot of, and then the art susceptibility is really good for buffing Rossi's ultimate. For her abilities, you only need to level up her ultimate. I do have the combo skill leveled up here, but that is not very important. For the weapon, we specifically picked Stanza of Memorials because this applies an attack percent buff, which is good for both Chen and Rossi, as opposed to her signature weapon, which applies an arts buff, which would only be good for Rossi. Kind of leaning into the whole hybrid build we've got going on here. For her gear, we're rocking 3-piece Zyronite, pretty standard, and that's because when she ults or applies susceptibility, it's going to apply a 16% damage buff, which is very nice. For the spare piece, we're rocking Tidefall Light Armor. It's got a good chunk of intellect and some ult gain efficiency. We actually have her overall intellect higher than her will, even though will is the main stat, and that's because her arts amp buffs are based on her intellect stat, and not her will. And then we do have one of her potentials, but it really doesn't do shit, so yeah. Anyways, that's the team, and let's get into the gameplay analysis. Alright, so we're going to run up. We know he's going to slam. We're going to dodge this. Every perfect dodge grants us more SP. More SP equals more skills. Also, make sure to be basic attacking as much as possible. It requires the last hit of basic attack in order to trigger the combo skills. It also gives us more SP regen, so we're trying to maximize SP regen here. After the dodge, you want to cast Chen skill and Akekuri skill for our 1 vulnerability stack and our 1 arts infliction stack. This will be immediately followed up by Chen combo trigger and Rossi combo trigger. Use both. It's going to put you into Rossi's quick time event, the second sequence of her combo. You want to time the gold ring there. You're going to use her attack, and that's going to apply crit rate and crit damage buffs. At this point, the enemy is vulnerable, so we can apply Woven Amberage through the use of Rossi's battle skill. So we're going to weave in some more basic attacks, get the last hit for the SP regen, immediately get the dodge for more SP regen. Now we use Rossi's battle skill. There's the Woven Amberage going out. So we need to apply some damage, so we use Akekuri ult, followed by Chen ult for some nice buffed damage, and that should be enough to do phase 1. We hang on to Gilberta and Rossi ult for the next phase. Going into phase 2, we're going to run up. We're going to perfect dodge this falling wall for some free SP. We then want to start a basic attack string, try to weave in a full one here to get the last hit. But you want to make sure you use Akekuri's battle skill while this is happening. Since the boss still is vulnerable, as you can see up by the health bar there, it only takes an arts infliction stack to get Rossi's combo sequence going again. So we use Akekuri battle skill, and we're actually going to hang on to, delay Rossi's combo trigger here while we're doing the basic attacks. Once we get the last hit of that, then we're going to pop it. This is going to put us behind the boss and actually give us invulnerability frames while we get the second part of that sequence. We're going to use Rossi's battle skill here to reproc Woven Amberage, and then we're going to stagger the boss. Immediately after the stagger, this is our window to do as much damage as possible. So we're going to pop Gilberta ult and also Rossi ult immediately after to maximize damage. We're then just going to use the combo skills available to us to basically finish out this fight here, and then just pop Chen ult for the last bit of damage. That's going to be it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed and, more importantly, found this helpful. If you did, make sure to like, subscribe, comment. It all goes a long way, as these videos do take a decent amount of effort. I know Rossi's been out for like over a week now at this point. I had a lot of technical difficulties, so I apologize, but I still wanted to release the video anyways and hope to continue to make more like this in the future. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.